Hey everybody, Casey Transformed here again, and today I have the Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Deluxe class Skydive. As you can see, he's very much reminiscent of his G1 figure. He's got the gold, he's got the black, he's got the gray, he's got a little bit of red. It's all very nicely painted. See, the gold and black are actually very nice on the wings, with the little Autobot symbols tampoed in, and lots of little detail. The cockpit's nicely painted. I actually like the paint on that better than I do on Fireflight, because Fireflight kind of had those red pieces going across and it just looks weird. Here it looks more like a real cockpit. He also has a much bigger nose cone, which is of course made of rubber. And he has two tail fins at the end. I do have a few complaints. One right here, you can see the red paint right there on the little hinges. It's actually rubbing off, which kind of stinks because it really doesn't even need to be red in the first place. I could just paint the skull with the rest of this and it will at least blend it in more. Another thing is, for some reason, my figure doesn't want to hold together. I don't mean transformation-wise, I mean pieces that are supposed to be screwed together-wise. You can see there's actually a gap right through the cockpit there. And it's supposed to be like this, but you can see it's actually like that. You don't really notice it until I hold it closed, and then when I let go, you can see it actually kind of splitting really badly. Another thing is, there's no pegs right here, unlike Firefly, who actually has... you can see there's actually pegs in there, which actually clip his tail into place. Nothing like that here. It's the only pegging into place are the arms, and there's also pegs on the inside, but there's nothing pegging this piece to this piece. So, one change you might notice though is there is a peg hole on top for his accessories. He comes with a different gun. It's hollow, but it looks good. You can peg that on top if you want. And it doesn't look bad. And you can just leave it on the wings like Firefly does. He still has peg holes on both sides and nice gold paint on the missiles there. Not sure why missiles would be gold, but this doesn't look bad. There's also some like circuitry detail under there, so that's pretty nice. But the main reason for that middle peg hole is for this. This is also the hand, but you can actually see. Now with the Minosaur and Superion parts, I expected there to be different molding, but I was surprised to see there's actually different molding between the Superion parts. Not just on the guns, which goes from like a flamethrower looking thing to more of a missile launcher. But even on like the top here, you can see there's actually different molding. Like there's vents here, while this has like more circuitry. This kind of has like a matrixy kind of thing going, while here it's kind of more, again, more of a circuitry look. Even the sides, again, we got like vents here, and then we just got like circuitry wiring detail. The actual hands themselves are basically simple. Look, even right there. Here you got like two little circles, but here you have like a squarish line going through. That's a lot of detail. I think that's the same as the heels. And even right here, up to the heels, it's different. That's crazy. That's some crazy different molding. That's some impressive stuff, Hasbro. I'll give you some credit there. And yeah, for the middle one, you can fold it to the rock launcher. And the key, so that way he has more of a balance, you can peg it on top instead of on both sides and looking really weird like Firefly does. And you know, just for a comparison shot of how it looks. Yeah, Skydive pulls it off a bit better. And while I do like Skydive overall play mode better, construction wise, I think Firefly holds together better. And we'll see more of what I mean in a moment. But let's go ahead and get the size comparisons out of the way. There was Firefly. For a random size comparison, here he is next to Payload. Quite larger than a little minifigure. Here he is next to Dragstrip, of course. The Combiner Wars Optimus. Much bigger as a Voyager. And just for another plane comparison, here he is next to the Leader Class Jetfire. You can see Jetfire is much, much bigger. With a tiny little payload kind of just docking into there. Alright, let's get them out of the way. So, for Skydive's transformation, it is very similar to Firefly's, but there are some differences. You, of course, fold these back. You fold the wings back. Unpeg the arms. Now, here's where it's a bit different. Here, let me show you this. There's actually some different types of clips in here. And I'm not sure how you're going to see it. Well, you're going to see this, but you can see here there's actually pegs coming off of where his knees are, while here the legs actually peg into his knees. So that is a bit different from Firefly. Anyway, just keep transforming him. Also, he doesn't have something that clips his legs to here. They kind of just rest here, while Firefly actually had like little tabs. So you just fold them out, much like Fireflies, and peg them together. And they do peg a bit easier with the pegs on this side instead. So that's kind of nice. Split the legs. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Dragstrip has this too. He has the peg hole for a stand, but Firefly does not have this. As you can see right there, there's no peg hole on the back of his back for him to use a stand, which is weird. Now here's something else different. You actually move the arms up in a weird way. You don't just slide them up. They actually come out on the hinge and rotate up like this and actually clip into place. Here's how it looks from the front. You can see it actually kind of hinges forward. And there you go, click. You can just fold this back. Much like this part is basically Firefly's transformation. And there's Skydive. Oh, you also extend his shoulders out like this. He's got big, wide shoulders. And there you go. Alright, I'm going to save the Firefly comparison for last because there's a lot of things I have to say about that one. Let's see. Here he is next to Payload. Little tiny little guy. Here he is next to Dragstrip. Okay, let's just go ahead and zoom this out. Get that up there. Here he is next to Optimus. And here he is next to the leader class, Jetfire. And Jetfire is not even fully in screen. There he is. So, let's get those three out of the way. Oh, and drop the gun. And here he is next to, finally, Firefly. You can see a major difference between these two, even though they are basically almost remolds of each other. Heavy remolds, but they are basically remolds. Just look at these two. I mean, Skydive has more of a Transformers Prime kind of aesthetic, while Firefly really reminds me of the Classics aesthetic, more of a, still blocky, but also very G1-esque, look. Like, he still has the blocky square head, he still has, like, the blocky G1 proportions except for his hips. For the most part, he looks like his G1 self. Skydive definitely looks like his G1 self, but he has more, like I said, more like the Transformers Prime or Transformers Animated stick to him. Especially in that head sculpt, and you can see the painted blue eyes with the orange face, and there is a little mouth molded in there. It looks really nice. He has a very helmet look. While Firefly has more of a, it looks like a helmet, but it looks like it's also part of his head. You can see a lot of mold differences between these two. A lot. For one thing, Skydive's joints are a lot looser, which kind of stinks. I mean, a lot of this is really... I mean, he'll still hold a pose, but you can see it does not take a lot of force to move these joints. While Firefly was a lot stiffer. Even his ball joints are loose compared to Firefly's. Actually, even with the wings out, he does look very different still. So that's kind of cool. Maybe not so much from the back, but he does still look really good. But yeah, you can see a pretty big difference between these two. A lot more than I was expecting. It's a lot better than the third-party ones where they looked all the same. Yeah, in all honesty, the third-party ones looked all the same. For the most part, the only new detail he has is his head. He does have an Autobot symbol tampoed there. And it's kind of small, kind of like how Dragstrip has like a small little Decepticon symbol on his shoulder. So that's kind of nice. He can wield his weapons. You can give him the double blaster, and you can give him the rocket launcher, which I like to give him underhanded since it's a big old rocket launcher. But because it's so big and heavy, his arm doesn't hold it well. Eventually, a lot of time the gravity will just kind of knock it down. He ends up looking like this. But he can hold both accessories. And if you want to store them, you can fold his wings back and just kind of store them there if you wish. Which looks silly and throws them off balance a little, but you can store them if you want. You can also just kind of have destruction when he, bows. Articulation-wise, it's basically the same as Fireflights. I mean, you got ball joint at the head, ball joint at the shoulder. You do have an extra hinge if you want to use it. You have the swivel. You have the hinge at the elbow. You have the waist articulation, which still looks weird because it's off-center. You got a ball joint at the hip, swivel right below that ball joint, and a hinge at the knee. And that's basically it. He's got a lot of good detail all over him. You can see all of it through his chest. He got detail on the legs, which look very nice. Even the details inside the arms kind of have a plated armor look, which looks really cool. Kind of reminds me how the animated Optimus Prime looked. So yeah, he's actually really cool. Now, like I said, I do have a couple of problems with his, loose joints and just not holding together as well as Fireflight. But that's alright. I bet what you all really want to see is his arm mode. So let's get him to arm mode. To transform him, just go ahead and flip the head around. And the only reason you want to flip the head is just that way he's not staring up into the sky. Skydive. Anyway, you want this peg out. You're going to swivel... No, wait. No, you're not. You're going to actually leave these up. And much like Fireflight, it's better to, for his arm mode to transform him from robot mode. So you're gonna have to have the wings back. You're going to want to bring the shoulders down and pointing back like this. Then swivel it to where the arms, where you can kind of see the fingers of the fists pointing out. And then bend the elbow. And what you're going to do next is there's actually a slot on the side of his arms that will slot into his wings, which will keep his arms there. His arms are actually pegged in unlike Fireflights. And you're going to open up the legs. Oh wait, no you're not. I'm stupid. Now, different from Fireflight, which has like the double elbow with the plain parts up front, the instructions actually show to use his robot foot for his for his arm mode, where he looks like this. And once again, if you're having trouble getting the fingers out, this little sword weapon from Deluxe is perfect for it. Oh, his hand doesn't lock together like Firefly's did. It just kind of sits there. Like Firefly's was actually all stiff and like almost felt like it locked in place like this. But go ahead and peg it on there, and you can give him the gun if you want. Detail differences are the same from Firefly's hand mode. I'll get that in a moment. What I want to go ahead and talk about is how it looks like this. And it doesn't look bad. My only real problem is the gap going through all the way through, which technically you could say it has the same gap here. But the thing is, this actually pegs in together here. While here, even if it's fully pegged in, it still has that gap because it's still supposed to look like legs. So that means if you have like this, you're always going to have a big gap going straight through Superion's arm. It doesn't look bad, and with the black, it actually looks like the hand's even more like interconnected to the arm than it does on Firefly or Dragstrip. So it doesn't look like just some random piece thrown on, but it just doesn't look as good. What I prefer to do is have the plain parts up like this, and then have it like that. Oh, his fingers folded in. I really cannot get those fingers out. There is a tab to get the fingers out, but I really can never get it going. So yeah, I personally prefer the arm like this, which, yeah, there's a bigger gap up here, but at least there's not a gap going through here. So let's get the other ones for arms. Once again, here they all are in arm mode. You can see they're both all basically the same kind of arm, same articulation, all that goodness. And they're all definitely about the same size. And for those who are wondering, I'm not going to do like a review of like Superion or like a combiner form until I get complete. Like I will do Ultra Prime once I get Alpha Bravo, because that'll complete the official Alpha Prime combo. But I'll probably wait till I have all 5 aerial bots to do Superion, because that way I can do like a Combiner War Superion review, and then I'll right after show the G1 Superion with all 4 of the original aerial bots on Silverbolt. And no, Dragship does not count. I'll show him on Ultra Prime because that's technically the only official combination we have for him. But no, Dragship will not be with part of Superion. That's just stupid. I'm sorry. Same goes for whichever aerial bot is with Minosaur. So yeah, there he's in arm mode, and now for leg mode, you just simply... I prefer to have the plane up front. I know like Optibotimus likes to have the robot mode up front, but go ahead and open up legs. you're basically putting them back in plane mode. You're just going to collapse them in. They're a lot easier to collapse in on how Fireflight was. That's one good thing about them being a bit looser. You can get them to collapse in easier. Then you're just going to take the arms, unpick them from the wings. You're actually going to do that hinge back down. One good thing is that since they're not clipped in here anymore, if you wanted to flip his head out, turn it around real quick, you can. You can just open it up, flip his head forward, turn it around, and push it back in so that way you don't see his head coming out right there, in case you wanted to show it from this way. But while we're back here, you go ahead and just swivel the arms back down, peg them back into place. Like I said, you are basically just turning him back into plane mode, just folded up and staying on the little foot thing. And there he is in leg mode. Honestly, this is my least favorite of leg modes. Oh, well, you can also flip these out. But I think officially you're supposed to do that. This is my least favorite of the leg modes just because his arms are just there. It's just like a thin plane with the arms just there. I mean, at least with Fireflight, when its wings folded forward, it was actually kind of covering the arms. Here, they're just kind of there. Even with this split open, it's still just arms. I'll probably use him in his arm mode only, because I really do not like this leg mode that much. But it's not that bad either. I have seen worse, limb modes with the combiners before. Just for a size comparison, here he is next to Jetfire's leg, or Skyfire. You can see... yeah, Superior is going to be much bigger than even Jetfire is going to be, which will be really cool to see. That the combiners will be even bigger than the leader classes. So that's my review of Skydive, and in all honesty, I do enjoy this figure quite a bit. I doubt he's going to be my favorite of the aerial bots. He's definitely not as good. I definitely like Dragstrip and Fireflight more. But I don't hate this figure either. I actually still quite enjoy it, especially with the paint job. And I definitely do recommend him. Would I recommend him first? No. But I would, if you want to complete your aerial bots, then yes, get him. He's definitely worth it. I'm Casey Transformed. Please go get this figure, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.